and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to another Ask Me About K-Pop deep dive.
Woohoo!
And this time, for the second time, this deep dive topic was chosen by our Patreon patrons. Yay!
I do wish that we had, this is when I want like an old school radio like soundboard. I want a little like glub 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 after you say deep dive and a little like like for Patreon chosen. I just want my sound effects.
I'll plop them in. I'll do it because we say that we've been saying that for like 6.5 years that we'll do radio sounds, so we never do. But I'll do it. I'll find them this time. I swear it. You just heard them because I did it.
Great.
All right. So this week the patrons chose second gen boy group Beast, also known as Highlight, because
Currently
they had
known
yes
as Highlight,
because they had to change their name, which we will get into. But I will probably just out of habit call them Beast more often than not, because that's who they were for the longer time, and like it still feels like that is who they are, and like they would be that if Cube just had let them be that, you know?
True. They originally wanted to keep the name Beast and were kind of forced into renaming themselves.
Right.
So as a, I don't know, it's not a Freudian slip, but as a slip of the tongue,
just
we will
familiarity.
Yeah, Beast.
They are a beast. But in all deep dive episodes, if you've never listened to one of our deep dives, because I know sometimes fans of the group come in to hear what we have to say about them. For our deep dives, we talk about big picture facts from each group or from the group. We tell you all about the members, and then we go through their timeline from beginning to present. And then at the end, we watch their most popular music video together. But before we get started, the other thing we always do, because it helps frame our discussion, is what is our attachment or familiarity to the group before we started doing this research. So who is Beast / Highlight to you, Angelica?
We both started listening to K-pop during the second gen, at which point like they were already out and like definitely very successful, like in the space and like a common name that would get thrown about on whatever the sphere of K-pop at the time. But at the time, I didn't like know that much about, you had like I had my like 5 groups,
right?
And that's all I knew. And Beast was part of that second / third, they're second gen, but second gen, third gen time where there were Beast, B2B, BAP, like, or BAP,
B1A4,
like, B1A4,
BTS,
yeah, exactly,
just Bs,
all the B groups. And so to me, that's kind of what who Beast was. Like they were there, but they were on the peripheral. I couldn't have named any of their members, and I probably couldn't have named you like one of their title songs, but I could have named them as like a group that is out and about. So I was honestly a little bit surprised in going through this timeline, seeing how like materially successful they were on like throughout their whole career, really, because a lot of times, like sometimes, like if we do like EXID or something, it's a group that was maybe around for like a good 7 years, but not always at the top or whatever. And then like Beast, we'll talk about how many years they've been around, but also like, damn, y'all were selling a lot and like charting high kind of consistently throughout, which I was like, I don't know, just surprised by my own ignorance, I guess.
Yeah, like for me, I feel like Beast was a pretty important group to my very early K-pop days. Because for those of you who do not know me, my intro and biggest like early K-pop thing was A-Pink, and A-Pink and Beast were label mates, and they did a lot of stuff together. Like member Ki Kwang is in A-Pink's debut music video, and Beast and A-Pink had these like commercial songs that were for school uniforms, and I ripped them off of YouTube and had them on my iPod. And like I knew Ki Kwang for sure. Like that was probably the only member that I could name easily. And I liked a lot of their songs, like from debut to, I feel like I hadn't heard, going through this timeline, I don't think I had heard any of the songs that came out past like 2015-ish. Like I just kind of fell off. They weren't ever a group that I like knew their names or followed their stuff. They were just around, and at the time I was still listening to like randomly generated K-pop Pandora playlists.
Sure.
So like Beast songs came up and I had them on my iPod, and like there is a song that when we get to it in the timeline of theirs that I believe to be one of the greatest K-pop songs ever written. Like if you made me make a top 10, hell, even a top 5, there is a song on here that to me is a absolutely perfect encapsulation of all that was good about second gen K-pop, and I will defend that song with my life till I die.
Okay, great. So stay
look
tuned for
forward
some
to
hot
that.
takes.
But yeah, they were just like, I knew a lot of their early stuff, and then just totally didn't even know that they had continued to put out this much music past the point of me like noticing them.
Yeah, they did have a pretty consistent, like not only success but also like release. They've put out so much music. So much music. Yeah.
So there's where we stand, and let's just get into it with the big picture up top facts.
Yeah.
So Beast debuted on October 14th, 2009 under Cube. And then they quote unquote debuted again as Highlight on March 20th, 2017 under their own company, which is called All Around Us. And again, we'll get into that whole thing in the timeline.
Yes.
So their name Beast, this is kind of interesting because when Cube first announced them, the name was spelled B number 2 ST. And it originally stood for Boys to Search for Top. Like boys aiming for the top, essentially. But then at some point before they debuted, Cube decided that that was like confusing somehow. Maybe because there were 6 of them and there's a 2 in the name. Like, I'm not sure. But 2 in like numerical Korean is E. So it works like Beast.
But
then
like phonetically it stays.
Yeah. But then they decided that it was just going to be spelled BEAST. And now it stands for Boys of East Standing Tall.
I like the switch from like, okay, now just take the E and A from one word. It's pretty funny the way that they're like, no, it's fine.
East.
It's fine. Yeah. I did see that like so apparently like the B2ST version of Beast was from their pre-debut MTV reality show. So that's how they like the pre-debut version was Beast, and then the company said, quote, "We showed our pre-debut appearance under the name B2ST, and after our official debut, we'll show a more developed side under the name Beast."
But interestingly enough, the logo was they changed the logo like right before the end. But the original logo for like 7 or 8 years was B2ST on all the albums. It was what the fans held up on the signs. Like, that's what their logo was. And also in the logo, the 2 has a line through it. So supposedly, if you look at it, you can see it. It looks like that Latin character where the A and the E are smushed.
And E. Yeah.
So it's a cool logo, and I thought it was funny that I learned that the font of the Beast logo is the Batman Forever font,
which is a great choice because it's a great show.
My favorite Batman movie, don't come for me. Their official fan color.
Oh, the show. Oh, the movie. I was thinking Batman Forever, the cartoon. Isn't that what that one
That
was?
was Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
No, Batman
Also
Forever.
great.
The Nicole
Batman
Kidman,
Forever.
Val Kilmer Batman movie.
Sure.
That
Yes. That was
was my
fun.
favorite.
That was fun.
So their fan color is dark gray, and their fan club name is Beauty, which is often styled as B2UTY. So it matches Beauty and Beast.
Cute.
And then when they changed to highlight, the fans changed to just light. So those are their two fan club names. So some overall notes about Beast. They debuted as the male counterpart to 4 Minute, who debuted just 4 months before them. Like that was the original plan, was like it was going to be like Beast and 4 Minute. And they did work together a lot in weird collabby ways, but I feel like they did so much more stuff with A-Pink than they ever did with 4 Minute.
Yeah. And maybe it's because like they had initially been planned to be the counterpart to 4 Minute, but like they had 6, which is the same number that A-Pink ended up having, and then also like 4 Minute and Beast maybe were too similar in concept, and it's like nicer to match because then they're like the Beauty and the Beast of like A-Pink and Beast, where
That's
A-Pink is so
very
girly,
true.
like it kind of fits better.
Yeah. And I think that their music, like generally, again, we have 15 years to talk about here, but for the first chunk of it, I do feel like their music was just super second gen K-pop-y K-pop with lots of like heavy auto-tune effects and electronic sounds and very rap heavy. And it just kind of was like, yeah, this is what K-pop sounds like right now.
Yeah.
Is what Beast.
It's
sounded
always very of the time.
Mm-hmm. And I noticed when like looking through everybody's profiles that like both the group and the members as soloists did so many collabs, duets, like features with other artists, like from the beginning, especially girls, in a way that feels very second gen, that they made like so many like sexy duets with like all the it girls at the time. And as we discussed, they have a famous dispute with Cube over their name, which we have brought up on the show many times because I think it's like one of the only examples of that. Like there's lots of different contract disputes and stuff, but I feel like this is the most famous, like you can't have your name.
Yes. Yeah. And one that was until very recently ongoing. Like this is not, like, oh, Shinhwa in the past like tried to leave or whatever, or like TVXQ members getting blacklisted from TV. It's like, oh well, these guys were like still actively promoting as Highlight during this lawsuit just a few years ago. So
and then this is just like just vibes. Like this is, I'm not saying anything. I just like when we do these old episodes, I like to go look at like old, like where was I, the fan spaces I was operating in at the time. So I like go look for like archived Tumblr posts and Omona they didn't comment sections and Reddit posts or whatever. And like a weird running theme that I found every time there was like a little like news thing about Beast, there would be people in the comments saying like, I really want to like Beast, their music is good, but they're so douchey. Like I don't know why they had that reputation, but it seemed like a lot of international fans just thought that like Beast were kind of douchey.
interesting.
So, I don't know. Also in these episodes I like to look at the Korean fan wiki Namu because there's usually like just kind of funny things on it. Like it's not the best source because things don't have sources like Wikipedia. It's just like fan stuff, but the things that they write are often like they tell a story. So some of the things on Beast's wiki were that the fans never believed that Cube treated them well, like even at the height of everything. There are no stage names in Beast, and all of their names, quote, give off the scent of scholars from the late Joseon dynasty.
The scent of scholars. Musty old books.
And their fans also said that despite their name, they weren't really beast idols like 2PM. And their fans saw them more as, quote, teen idols and thought that their debut look was like a perfect blend of SHINee and 2PM, who were like the two dichotomies of their generation.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
I think towards the middle of their career, they definitely went more beastly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But they didn't start that way. That's fair.
Yeah. Definitely at the beginning. I feel like they grow into their beast idol personas.
Yeah.
Their beast modes, if you will. Some overall stats for Beast/Highlight. They have released 4 Korean albums, 2 Japanese albums, 15 EPs, and 9 OSTs. They held 13 concerts and 8 tours and won 57 music show trophies as Beast and 18 as Highlight for 75 total, along with 43 other major awards. So,
That's
like
a
I
lot of
said,
awards.
highly decorated group. That's why I was so shocked. I was like, wow, whoa. That was a combination of whoa and wow. And I didn't mean to say. Wow. I was surprised because I knew so little about them. All right. So the next piece in our deep dives, as they always go, is that we will introduce the members to you one at a time, listed in age order. So starting with Doojun. He was our leader and face, born July 4th, 1989 in Goyang, South Korea. He has, because we will try to physically describe them for you in an audio medium. Our favorite part of these deep dives is describing people's faces for you. So Doojun has like single eyelids with puffy aegyosol, which is like the little eye baggies underneath your eyes. And he has very arched eyebrows with like deep lip corners and a kind of smirky smile. And is generally usually like tanner than the others. Originally, he wanted to be a PE teacher until he saw a show about Big Bang and changed his mind. And I think this fact is really funny because he does kind of look like the jock. Like he looks like the jockey one of the group.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the tallest.
He's not the tallest. He's the second tallest.
Oh, yeah. The youngest is the tallest.
Yep.
Okay. So Doojun has done a few collabs and OSTs. He has 3 lyric credits for Beast songs and released his own solo album in 2020. He made his acting debut in 2010 and has since done 13 dramas and 3 movies, including starring in all 3 seasons of Let's Eat.
Yes, I do feel like he has such, like, especially like now, like he's really grown into like, he has such a K-drama actor face.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
Really, really.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes. And some pictures, he is one of those K-drama faces that kind of reminds me of other people's faces. Like sometimes when he's looking like down at the, like he's looking up at you, but like with his chin pointed down and his like hand in it with tall hair, he looks just like Top. But then like in other times, like sometimes he kind of reminds me of like Mino in that like jockish, boyish good looks way. And like, I don't know, just depending on whether his hair is covering his forehead or piled up high. But K-drama lead face.
Agreed.
For sure.
All right, next up in line we have Junhyung, main rapper, born December 19th, 1989 in Seoul. And when I was trying to describe him, I felt like he looked completely different in every single still picture of him on the internet. Like sometimes his face is really round and sometimes his cheeks are like super hollow. His eyes are kind of close together and he has like a very deep like philtrum and a kind of small mouth, but like pouty lips at the same time. Like he looks so different all the time, but sometimes I felt like he sort of looks like J-Sef from Card. That was like the closest person I could think of, but I don't know. He was the hardest to describe for me.
For me, I usually identified him by process of elimination because I could easily identify everybody else. But there were some times during the music video where I would find myself being like, is that Junhyung or Hyungsung? Like I kind, because they were both kind of like slighter, like the like more thinner, like smaller members. And so I feel like I kind of got maybe their body types confused,
Yeah.
but I agreed. I thought I could never like
Easily be
pinpoint
like, yes,
his
you.
face. Yeah.
So he started his solo career in 2012 and has released 12 singles as a solo artist and has 31 collabs with other artists because like he's the rapper. So he did a lot of like rap features, including in like Hyuna's debut and like a bunch of stuff. And he has producer credits on most Beast albums and 60 writing credits for his own solo work and for other people. But he was kicked out / removed himself, however you want to say it, in 2019 for his involvement in the Burning Sun scandal. And he is currently dating Hyuna, and her reputation is now also trash for being with him. He is trash. No, thank you. And if you are one of his shooters and want to send me an email about how he didn't do anything wrong, you can save your breath because I will just delete it. Thank you.
It will go into trash where it belongs.
Where he belongs.
Yeah. So moving right along, next up we have Hyun Sung, our lead vocal. He was born September 3rd, 1989 in Suncheon, South Korea. He has straight, like thin eyebrows and a long nose, and they usually accentuated his eyes with smoky eyeshadow to make them look even longer. And he has kind of big ears and a generally like elfish demeanor. I think his face is very like mischievous looking, and he's like scrawny. Like
Yes.
he has sort of G-Dragon energy to me. Like
But just like taller and thinner.
yeah. Exactly. And with like moppier hair, I think.
He usually had like moppy bowl cuts, like in his time
hair in his
Beast.
eyes,
Yeah.
etc. He is one half of Troublemaker, and I tend to refer to him as Troublemaker because I think that just fits his face.
Yes.
But he started his solo work in 2015 and released 10 songs. And Hyunsung actually left the group in 2016, but he remained signed to Cube as a soloist until 2021. He is currently signed to Minefield and goes by the stage name Able, Able.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Yosop, who is the main vocal. And just a weird aside, because I recently read the novelization of Pachinko. It was pretty good until it wasn't. And I learned that Yosop is the Korean version of Joseph.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, he was born on January 5th, 1990 in Seoul, and he like is a small bean.
He's so small.
His head is really small, but like his features are really large. He has like a very big eyes and like a pretty wide nose. And even though he's 34, he still kind of looks baby. Like he just has one of those
has
faces.
big cheeks. Like he to me looks like a little cartoon. Like he just has a very, very boyish face.
He has songwriting credits on 15 different Beast songs and has released 1 album and 2 EPs as a soloist and has done 15 different collabs and 17 OSTs because he really does have a great voice. And he started doing musicals in 2011 and has so far done 8 different shows, including 2 different runs of a musical called Those Days, where he was the lead in 2017 and 2020.
He has such a musical face and vibe to him when he's like acting. And there are certain music videos that I've hit theirs where I was like, oh, you should be on stage. And now he is.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Gikwang. He was our main dancer. Born March 30th, 1990 in Naju, South Korea. He's our short king. The internet says that he and Yosob are both 5'7", but he's definitely the shorter one of the group.
I think so. And I looked because the Beast profile says that they were both 5'7". The highlight profile says that Yosop is 5'6". And I was like, I don't know. When they are standing next to each other, Gikwang looks smaller. I don't know. But just saying.
Yeah.
They're
We'll
both
never
little
really
is the
we'll
point.
never really know an idol's height, but just know that you can't trust what it says on the
It's
internet.
true.
You cannot. Anyway, he has double eyelids, big quirky eyebrows, huge lips, and he's most likely to be naked on stage. He loves to hoe it up, and we love that for him. I also felt like he was a face that looked like other people's faces.
He looks like Lay a lot.
He does
honestly.
look like Lay. I think so too. I thought he looked like Lay
It's
as
that
well.
big,
the
strong
sleepiness,
nose, baby.
Yeah, and the sleepiness. Okay, so he debuted before Beast as a soloist called AJ, and he is straight edge. He has released 2 albums and 2 EPs as a soloist and has 27 writing credits for Beast songs. He started acting in 2009 and has done 11 dramas, including this year's hit, Marry My Husband.
And that brings us to our final member, our maknae Dongwon. He was born June 6, 1991 in Busan. And to describe him, I just want to say, hear me out, Korean Ryan Gosling. And I think that it is way more apparent in videos than it is in pictures, but there is something about his profile, especially like his nose and his smile. Like I saw this video where he was like laughing and turned to the side and he had like one quirky eyebrow and was like smiling. And I was like, Ryan Gosling? Like, I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't think he looks exactly like him, but there's like something about it. He was a face that I remember even when I didn't know their names. If like Beast was on a panel or something, I could see Dongwon and be like, "Oh, Beast is here."
Yeah,
because he has a face like nobody else's face.
Because I don't think that he looks like Ryan Gosling, but I do think he has a whiteness to his characteristics that like make him stand out. Like he has like a very unique nose shape. And like something about, there's something about his appearance that stands out.
Yeah. His eyes are very round, like, and they usually made him like blonde. Like I would have assumed when I looked it up that they would have been like, he's mixed or he's not Korean,
American or whatever.
Like,
yeah. Nope.
Apparently not.
From Busan. A Busan man.
But he is the tallest member. This is one of those youngest is the tallest situations.
And you can tell that he's
so he's very musical and he can play the violin and the flute, two very difficult instruments. So that's pretty cool.
Very different instruments too.
He started his solo career in 2010, but interestingly, he started his solo career in Japan. He started with a Japanese debut first and has since released 2 Korean EPs and 1 full Japanese EP. And he has 13 OST credits and 19 songwriting credits on Beast songs. And he got married last September to a non-celebrity.
Aw, congrats.
So that's our members.
Those are them. Okay, so as we get into the timeline, we're going to start with just some general pre-debut facts, things that happened before they're official. And then we're going to basically use their releases, all their musical releases as our main timeline benchmarks with some major news sprinkled in there as needed.
Yes.
So before a debut, as we mentioned, Gi Kwang had debuted as a solo artist under the name AJ. And Jun Hyung had been in a group called Xing.
I think that's
Crossing.
Right.
I don't know.
Remember.
XING. And if you remember from our You Kiss deep dive, Kevin and Kibum were also part of this group. We had Hyun Sung. I thought this was really interesting because, like I said, he gives real G-Dragon energy to me. But Hyun Sung was almost a member of Big Bang and ended up being cut right before debut. And I think that just keep that in mind, especially if you watch all the music videos along with us during this timeline. I just feel like that really makes a lot of sense for him.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense later as they go their separate. Well, it just all fits. It really fits.
Yeah. Doojun had been on the reality show Hot Blooded Men, which was probably one of the, if not the first, survival show that made a group, and it made 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. But he didn't get into either group, obviously. But in fact, 4 out of 6 Beasts had been JYP trainees at one point. I just thought that was interesting. And some other names, I saw some other names that were considered for the group by Cube. One was they were just going to be called 300. after the movie.
That would have been so
300.
lame. That would have been so lame. I'm really glad they didn't go with that.
Another one was 6Con, which was supposed to stand for 6 icons. And then I couldn't tell because I was trying to translate a sentence and I don't know if they meant that 6Cons also Genghis Khan or if Cube was considering calling them Genghis Khan because they're
gotcha.
conquering K-pop or whatever.
Sure.
They also considered calling them Bronze Eagles, Silver Eagles, and Gold Eagles. Like all of those were in the mix.
It's like trying to come up with like a school mascot. Let's just be Genghis Khan.
Yeah. And they were publicly introduced, as you mentioned earlier, on a TV series called MTV Beast with the two. And that was them like filming their debut music video and like introducing them and getting everybody all excited.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to debut.
All right. So October 14th, 2009, Beast releases their debut. Beast is the best. B2S. Is it Beast is the Beast or Beast is the best? That's up for interpretation.
And I know, because you'd think based on the naming convention, it would be Beast is the Beast.
Beast is the Beast.
But if you look at the Wikipedia and the melon for this album, in English, it is written like Beast is the best. So whatever.
See, okay. Inconsistency. But whatever. The lead single for this was called Bad Girl.
We gotta get down.
This song was written by Lee Sang-ho and Shin Se-dong Tiger with lyrics that are credited to Beast. And the album reached number 11 on the weekly chart and number 59 for the whole year. The original print of the album, which was 20,000 copies, sold out in its first month, and they ended up having to print more. And they won, after this album, the Rookie of the Month from the South Korea Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, which is our Ministry of K-pop. Please see that episode for more information. And they also won Best New Artist at the Seoul Music Awards. So this was a pretty immediately celebrated debut, which is interesting. In the sense that, like, for the time period, I feel like it wasn't particularly groundbreaking. It's like very much what K-pop is in 2009. But yeah, people loved it. So the music video is mostly a box video with the group dancing in either like an all white or a black and blue room. It's pretty simple. It has individual shots in colorful rooms like hallways and bathrooms, or a bench in front of this rainbow colored wall with like clear speaker stacks. And then there's a dance break scene in a desert sandbox with this structure that's covered in vines.
It's so like 2009. When it cut to that point, I was like, yes, we must dance in the infinite dirt box. Like,
yes,
we have to.
The dust. Kick the dust up. Put a dust filter over the whole thing. And the styling for this is also very 2009. We have drop crotch pants on like everyone, asymmetrical tank tops with feather shoulders or a cowl neck, cowl neck, not cow. I don't know what that would be. Yeah. Huge necklaces. Very like 2000. Yeah, like huge. Necklaces. Like an actual, like a just, you're going to knock
like
yourself
a
out.
Chain that you would pull a truck with. Like huge necklaces.
And very 2009 K-pop haircuts, in that they either have very short bangs like the Lucifer bangs of Mino, or super layered long bangs. And in the debut stage, Hyunsong has the choppiest bowl cut that's ever known to man. And
it's like they just like set a razor in points on it. Like it just has like chunks taken out of it in the craziest way.
Like it all started as one length and they just like, and a little here.
Just
and here,
yes.
And here.
So
yeah.
weird.
But Usopp takes the cake for wackiest costume, because in both the music video and on stage, he has a hoodie with he's wearing a hoodie, and
with
on top of the hood, with the hood on top of the hood, he's wearing a a construction hat, like a hard hat of the same color as the hoodie. And then on top of the hard hat is a glove.
Like a
that's just
paper mache, like
glued,
it's full of hands.
like a fastener. But on top of the
helmet.
construction hat that's on top of the hoodie. It's a wild look. It's a wild look. Anyway, this song, Bad Girl, is about a bad girl that left you, but you can't stop thinking about her. The lyrics say, "The thought of you keeps making me crazy, you bad girl. Even though I screamed at you, asking you not to leave, you didn't even look back, you bad girl." And a fun fact about this album is that another song off of it called Ajigun was banned by KBS because of the rap ending, or because the rap ended with the Korean shh, which sounded too much like shit.
And I thought this was very funny because so the Korean version of shh is shh. It has a close at the end of it.
At the end.
And I think every single time in the history of ever that it has been used in a K-pop song, it sounds deliberately like shit.
Yeah.
Like in that FX song where Crystal goes like, shit. Like,
yeah.
That is what they are saying. So it was just very funny that KBS like caught this one because I was like, it always sounds like that. But
it always
fine.
sounds like this. And that's not even it's not even the title.
Right.
But whatever.
So that was the debut. Moving on to March 1st, 2010, they put out their second EP called Shock of the New Era, and the title single was Shock. So this song was written and composed by Lee Sang-ho, Shin Se-dong Tiger, and Young Jun-hyung, which is Jun-hyung, the rapper. The album reached number 2 on the weekly album chart and was number 19 for the entire year. And they got their first music show win on M Countdown for this song and beat out 2AM's I Was Wrong by just 1 point.
A narrow victory.
So the music video starts out with like all this recording equipment, and then the like cables are like snaking like snakes, and they like wrap up Yosop on like a big white table, like he's all like tied down to the table with all these wires. And then it cuts to the members dancing in like a really dark warehouse, and there's big swingy lights on the ceiling, and the solo shots of all of them are in a big white Lego chair. And it's a very dance focused music video, but a lot of like really shaky cam for all of the before the chorus. They like really rattle it up.
It got a little too much toward the end. I'm not going to lie. There were a few parts where I was like, man, I got to look away.
Yeah. Seizure warning, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything is on fire by the end of the music video. And the styling for this one, they don't have the drop crotch pants anymore. Their pants are skinny now, but there's so many layers of like leather, black denim. They still have the very big chains, but now everything's like gold accents, studs on the jackets and on all their bracelets. We got like our fingerless gloves, like all of that stuff. There's a tiny faux hawk in the music video, which then is a real hawk for the stages.
Yeah, like they shave down the sides. Make them actually bald.
And they look very slick on the stage with their like leather and tight pants, and like there's one little tummy peek happening. And I also thought like in a lot of these very early stages that are in the playlist that their live vocals are very impressive.
Absolutely.
Like very stable, and they're doing really well. The lyrics to this song are about like, I can't go on without my ex. But the whole thing doesn't make that much sense. Like the lyrics say, the more I think about you, the longer I idle while sitting down, and I can't get anything done. Every day I shock. Every night I shock. I'm sorry. Please come back to my side.
What is that? What are the
like,
shocks?
are you sitting or like, yeah, what's shocking you?
You said that you can't do anything. You can't stop. All you can do is think about them. Do you need the shock to get out of it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Every day I don't know.
I don't know. But the choreo, when they say shock, they do this like big like arm thing.
Yeah.
This song was actually released a day early because it was leaked by an unknown Cube insider on YouTube.
Ooh la la. Cube. Always having trouble on the inside.
All right. So next up, unfortunately, I must address a controversy like very early in the timeline. And we did touch on this very, very briefly in our Faves Are Problematic episode as part of a really long and upsetting list, but I'll go into more detail this time. So on July 24th, 2010, there was a Geekwong blackface incident. So I looked this up and I watched it. I don't recommend, but to get the full context. So on a segment of a TV show, that is either called Happy Time or Hot Brothers. I'm not sure. There were like different articles calling it different things. They did this segment where the guests were having to wear heart monitors and then they do something weird and embarrassing to them to see if it would raise their heart rate. So Kikwan gets sit in a chair and he like closes his eyes and then they put him in full blackface, wig, earrings, like all this shit. It's so bad. And then they told him that now he has to pretend to shoot a commercial for watermelon and eat watermelon all deliciously and then get up and do a sexy dance. And then when he finishes, they take out a mirror and show him what he looks like. And he obviously panics and they win. His heart rate went up. We got you. It's like really fucked up.
So fucked up.
It's so fucked up. And obviously people were really pissed about this and blamed the production, but then they also blamed him because he's an adult and he should know better and should have done something. But then other fans were arguing like, he just debuted. He doesn't have any say. Like Cube should have stepped in about this. But also there was no, this was not addressed. There was no apology. Nobody said anything because as we talked about in this episode, this type of like blackface humor comedy is and was like perfectly acceptable on South Korean TV. So like, why would they address it? Because they don't think anything is wrong with it. So just sigh. Like, I don't have anything else to say except like,
Yeah, this happened and was never apologized for. So
there you go. Okay, back to the music.
all right. So just a few months later, on September 30th, 2010, they released their third EP titled Mastermind with the single Breath.
I can't take my breath. 시간이 갈수록 점점 지나갈수록 I can't hold my breath. 갈수록 난
This song was written by Shinsadong Tiger Chae Gyo-sung with lyrics by Rado and Junhyung. It went to number 2 on the weekly chart, and fans actually crashed the group's official homepage waiting for the teaser to be released.
Wow.
They went on to win 2 music shows, Music Bank and M Countdown, and they also took home the Influential Artist Award at the 2010 Asia Song Festival for this song. In the music video, it starts out with Junhyung and he's on the ground of like, he's like unconscious in this destroyed, well, I guess theater, because there's really big like broken
marquee letters,
on the ground. And then later on, you realize that they spell beast. And then A Pink's Noun comes in a red dress. She has an oxygen mask, which she puts on Junhyung, and then like it closes up on his hand and it like does the little Frankenstein twitch and he comes to life. And then we like immediately cut to all the members in the same set. You can see that the letters spell beast, and they're gonna do like the main dance there. And I will say that like, I mean, the dance is cool, but the very first move where they like take in a deep breath and do this like body roll thing where they're inhaling it, very cool. Love it. It's great.
There's a lot of like in this song, like on the like little like
inhales,
beats, they like do like these big body roll breaths and it's like it's fun.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. And so yeah, this song just has like very classic like second gen beats, but I will say that they have way less auto-tune in their vocals than they did at the very beginning, because like their debut song is almost entirely auto-tuned and now like we're kind of just hearing them, which is nice. There are some scenes where the members are dancing in like a very sparse, fake, like foggy forest. And then all of a sudden we are in a rainstorm. They are shirtless in the rain. They're doing sexy floor choreo. And then we're back in the forest, but now there's like an all-girl orchestra in the back. And in the very end, Naeun is passed out in the foggy forest. And she ends up getting revived. So it's a little full circle moment.
Interestingly enough, it's Gi-kwang who comes to revive her, and we'll learn from the next music video that Junhyung v Gi-kwang is kind of a theme in a couple of music videos.
Yes. Interesting. I didn't think about that. All right, remember that for the next release. Okay, the styling for this one is pretty dramatic. I feel like this is the era of second gen K-pop that I like to call like Hunger Games fashion. Because you have like a lot of, just like a lot of different like layers and cuts and like fancy fabrics. Like it's not like normal everyday wear. You know what I mean? Like it's not something you can't just like go to the store and buy that kind of jacket.
Right.
But we're wearing a lot of black. Hyunsung has a full like fur cuff on. There are feathers just like stuck into people's hair. One or two drop crotches, a lot of high top sneakers, and some guns out. Sort of like dystopian warrior vibes.
Yeah, and there's one outfit in the music video and probably on a stage or two where Gi-kwang's wearing this like it's vest, but it's like sweater material, and the neckline of it goes all the way to its belly button.
Yeah, just all the way down.
It is just so open.
The lyrics of this song are about trying to leave a bad relationship. They say, I can't hold my breath, more and more I'm being suffocated. My breath, breath in, breath out.
Yeah.
Breath.
They really do breathe really heavy.
They do.
So just a few months later, on November 9th, 2010, they released a fourth EP called Lights Go On Again, and the single is Beautiful.
So beautiful, my girl. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. 시간이 지나도
So this song was written by Shin Sedong Tiger, DA9297, and had additional lyric credits for Hong Seung-sung and Junhyung. And this was their first Gaon #1 and their first music show win on Inkigayo. And the cumulative sales of this EP, Mastermind, and Shock were over 107,000 by December, making these the only rookie group to sell over 100,000 copies of anything in 2010. And they went on to win Best New Artist at the Golden Discs in 2010. The music video for this one is very long. It's 7 minutes and it's kind of drama style. So we start out at this like breakdance battle showcase thing where people are breakdancing and there's like a guy who's getting money from people and like putting it in a hat. Like it's a whole like underground dance scene. And Junhyung and Yosop and Dongwoon are like a little dancing trio, and I think Doojun's like the DJ. And they're like practicing for their battle and like hyping each other up at the beginning, and A-Pink is competing in the dance thing as like dance girls. And then once the song starts and we see more of their lives, we see that like they all go to school together and that like Naeun and Junhyung like might have a thing. But then he like breaks his arm and he can't break dance anymore. But Gi-kwang is at school now and he's cool and he's an even better dancer. So Naeun gets with him instead and he wins the dance battle. And at the end of the music video, like Junhyung is like sad on his desk at school and looking at a picture of him and Naeun in his wallet. He lost her because he can't dance as good.
Because he can't dance. If you can't dance,
you can't do nothing
for me, baby. Ow!
So the styling for this one is like they're more like cool boys, still stylish, but more realistic because it almost like there is half school and half this breakdancing battle. So they're like wearing less K-pop costumes and more like regular clothes, very colorful. On stage, they have black skinny jeans and they're all wearing like a little jacket and a t-shirt. Shout out to a Letterman jacket with black full Muppet sleeves.
Yes, I put that in the stage because they all have like, they just have like each one is a different jacket. Like this one's wearing a motorcycle jacket, and that one's got a like trench coat on, and this one's got a like hoodie or whatever. And then I think it was Dongwoon is wearing a like. All their jackets are red and black. I think this is the one I put in the playlist. And he's wearing like a Letterman jacket that looks like a regular Letterman jacket where like the chest part is made of leather and it's
Felt or
red,
whatever,
and
yeah.
then the sleeves instead of being leather are black, but then when you look up close they're like fuzzy Muppet fur. And they look a little bananas, but you wouldn't notice if you just take a quick little glance.
Yeah. The choreo and the stage for this one in general is just so much more like playful than their other releases. Like they're happy, they're smiling, like they're being a little goofy. It's like, a happy, beautiful my girl song and not a like every night I shock or whatever. So the lyrics to this one, it is a confession song about how beautiful you are. They say, I can run anywhere you are. I can run to anywhere you are. I always think about you. Even more than now. I love you, my girl. You, my beautiful. Nothing better than you.
Love it. Exactly what a boy band's supposed to sing about.
Exactly.
On December 9th of this year, 2010, they hold their first solo concert called Welcome to Beast Airline, LOL. And this concert was held at the Jamisil Indoor Stadium in Seoul, which holds 10,000 people. And they actually debuted 3 duets from their upcoming EP at this concert, which they released on December 21st. It was called My Story, and this is their first digital EP. So I'm guessing that means they didn't have physical copies of it.
That would be my assumption too.
Yeah. And it was sort of a special album, and it had 3 member duets and a full version of a previously released intro track called Lights Go On Again. So it was really just 4 songs, the one extended song that has all of the members, and then each of the duets where each member duo wrote the lyrics to their own song. So we had When the Door Closes by Doojun and Dongwoon with music by Rado, Thanks To by Junhyung and Yosop with music by the members and Shinsadong Tiger, and then lastly Let It Snow by Hyunsung and Gikwang with music by Shinsadong and DA9297. So there's this performance of each one of those included in the playlist.
And they're all pretty different. Like When the Door Closes is like a dueling piano ballad. Then Thanks To is just like your rapper while someone sings the chorus. And then Let It Snow is like Usher, rip your shirt in the rain, except it's snow this time.
In the snow, which is so fun. You don't get that very often.
Yeah. So next up on May 17th, 2011, they released their first full album called Fiction and Fact, and the single is Fiction. And you're not going to hear it right now because this is the one we're going to save to watch at the very end because this is their most watched music video ever. This song was also written by Shinsadong Tiger and Chae Gyu-sung, who is half of Black Eyed Pilsung, with additional lyric credits for Junhyung. And the album entered the chart at number 4 and went to number 1 on Gaon and sold over 142,000 copies by the end of the year, making it the 5th best-selling album of 2011. They won 7 music shows, including a Triple Crown on M Countdown and 2 in a row on Music Bank and Inkigayo. The song also won Song of the Year at the KBS Music Festival and got Beast Artist of the Year for the second quarter at the Gaon Chart Music Awards. And like I said, we'll save the music video for later. But this is a more dystopian vibe styling wise, less layers, more guns out, lots of vests, and everything is a little more like military uniform, like structured better. And they're not matching, but they're like coordinated in that very second gen style. And the lyrics are about rewriting a love story to only have the good memories remain. It says, quote, "Right now, there are only happy stories here, the very happy stories of just the two of us. Different from reality is written here, and it's slowly filling up." And this song, we'll see it when we watch the music video, but the choreo to this is incredibly iconic. It was a very, very big deal when it came out because the whole chorus, they just do this very slow shuffle step with their feet and they have their hands in their pockets like they just don't give a fuck. And it was like it was like a big deal because it was just like, oh, it was one of those like classic, simple K-pop moves that just kind of like
that just
captures your
catch on.
attention because you're just like, wow, look at that. It like does look very cool. So supposedly, while recording the pre-release single for this album, which was called On Rainy Days, quote, "All the members were emotional and shed tears. The recording was stopped several times due to continuous tears." And this pre-release also won a music show. I didn't put them all because this episode would get 4 hours long, but they pretty much did pre-releases for like most of their albums and would promote a second single later. Like they were always doing stuff.
They were always promoting. They like would put out multiple releases in 1 year and then they would put out a pre-release and they would win a music show for that and then they'd put out the title and then they'd promote a second single and then they'd win a music show for that. So it was like, wow, you guys just are stacking them up.
Yeah, they were always busy.
Always busy.
June 28th, 2011, we had some news, which was that Dispatch caught Junhyung with Kara's Guhara. There were pictures of the two arm in arm on a street released by Dispatch, and Cube actually confirmed that they were dating. And this was a big deal because this was honestly kind of the second ever Dispatch catching of this era because Jonghyun and that actress, like about 5 or 6 months before this, were like the first idols to ever get like caught by Dispatch and have pictures released. So then when this happened, everyone was like, oh, fuck, is this a thing now? Like, are people going to start getting like outed by Dispatch? So Cube confirmed that they were dating, but they added, and I thought this was a funny detail, quote, "Because of their busy schedules, they've only been able to go out to eat and other dating activities 3 times so far."
That's so specific.
It's so specific. But it's also like a weird bummer. Like I always think it sucks when people get like caught dating super early because then it usually like
fizzles
fucks
out
everything up
immediately.
because like everybody knows. And apparently when I was looking at the articles from when this posted, there were a lot of June Sung shippers who were pretty devastated by this news. And then fans, as in the weeks after, started finding a whole bunch of like evidence of what they thought were like hints, like that on an episode of Gorilla Date, all the other members said that Junhyung would be the first one who would be in a public relationship, and they started like combing all his lyrics and doing all that stuff to like prove that they had been together for a long time or whatever. They did end up dating for about 2 years. And just, I said this already, but like just to clarify, because there is so much misinformation out there. Like, yes, these two did date, but he is not the one who physically abused her many years later. And I see that being thrown around a lot because nobody likes Junhyung right now and they don't have to. I don't either. Just saying, let's not conflate our crimes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a whole other trash man. Don't worry, there's no shortage of those.
Ugh.
All right, moving right along. On August 10th, 2011, they released their first Japanese album called So Beast, with a single that was simply a Japanese version of Shock. This album debuted at number 2 on the Oricon Albums Chart, which is the Japanese music chart. And they had previously released Shock as a single in March, during which time it had sold 29,000 in 1 week and went to number 2 on the Oricon Daily Singles Chart, making it the highest ranking debut by a foreign artist at the time. So very popular right away in Japan. In November of that same year, 2011, they won the Artist of the Year at the Melon Music Awards and received a commendation from the South Korea Minister of Culture at the Korean Popular Culture and Arts Awards for their contributions to the Hallyu wave. Then in January of 2012, they received the Best New Artist at the Japan Gold Disc Awards. And finally, in February of 2012, they put on their first world tour called Beautiful Show. And now this is kind of interesting because Cube claimed to invest 20 billion won, which is about 17 million US dollars, toward the production of this tour in order to include 3D and other visual effects, saying, quote, "We are aiming for nothing less than the greatest visual arts spectacular," and promised to introduce new songs during the tour. They promised 21 cities in 14 countries across Asia, Europe, and North America, including Germany, England, Spain, Canada, and the US. But only 10 cities actually ended up having shows. The appearances in London, Spain, all 3 cities in the US, 2 cities in Canada, 2 cities in Japan, Brazil, and the Philippines were all canceled with absolutely no explanation why.
Ugh, that's a bummer.
So they just went on a halfway tour. And I always wonder what Cube does with their fucking money.
I know, right? Ugh.
The mystery continues.
The mystery continues. Okay, moving on to July 22nd, 2012, they released their 5th EP, Midnight Sun, and released, in my opinion, one of the greatest K-pop songs ever written called Beautiful Night. So this was the first time that their lead single was not produced by Shinsadong Tiger. This song was written by Goodnight and Sleep Well with lyrics by For Reals. And the Cube CEO stated before the song came out that, quote, "We are planning on making the greatest comeback ever known." And the album debuted at number 1 on Gaon Weekly and number 2 on the monthly with over 146,000 copies sold. They made their first appearance on the Billboard World Albums chart with this song, and it went to number 15. They got 5 music show wins, including another M Countdown Triple Crown and more wins on Music Bank and Show Champion. And it got the Bone Song Award at the Golden Discs later in the year and their second consecutive Artist of the Year at the Melon Music Awards. The music video was filmed in New York. And there's like graffiti buildings and brownstones and guys on skateboards and like New York vibes. The members are all wearing really, really bright colors and patterns and like strutting through the streets all cool. There's black and white shots of skateboarding. There's a guy like spray painting Beast on a building in like fast time lapse. And then there's a party in this really tiny alley where they're all kind of stacked up on like what's the word I'm looking for? Dumpsters or something. And then the alley is like full of people. And then at the end there, it's a night scene on a roof and they're on a stage and everyone's like jumping around and having a great time. So the styling was super bright, so bright patterns, bright colors, clothes and hair. Junhyung's hair is this like absolutely stunning, like neon lilac. It's just like that really cool purple. And the clothes are kind of different. Like there's fun patterned shorts and tank tops, but also in the music video, Dongwoon is wearing like a red suit with a bolo tie.
Yeah.
And his hair is kind
And
of
then-
green. Like,
Yeah, and Hyun's like only on the tips,
Yeah.
though, like just a little bit green. And then Hyunsong has like a blue suit, but his suit instead of having pants, it's shorts. But he still has the blazer, but it's like a short suit, which is always a funny look to me.
Yeah. So the lyrics are a bunch of, you said, weak metaphors for thinking that you're awesome. Like
One of them says something about like being a limitless credit card. Come on, that's not romantic.
Sure. They say the blue moonlight makes this beautiful night. Walk across the sky with me. I'm yours. Only you can make my heart race. And then there was some like there was controversy, but I like could not confirm any of this before the music video came out. So I mostly saw this posted on Oh No They Didn't, which was the regular version of Oh Mona They Didn't. It was a live journal gossip site. It was super mean spirited. I was obsessed. I made like so many friends on it. Loved this website. But there was somebody on there who was constantly trying to make posts about how Beast was racist. And all of the comments would be like, why do mods keep letting her post through? Like, they're never sourced. So there was like already controversy on this. But this person posted a supposed Craigslist ad that Cube had allegedly posted saying that they were filming this music video, but they only wanted Caucasian people to show up, like whites only casting call. But then people in the comments were like, me and my friends are literally at this shoot right now. Like, this isn't happening. And when I checked the archive of the Craigslist ad, it had been deleted like the day it was posted. So I couldn't even find the content of the real Craigslist ad. So like, I don't know if Cube actually did this or if it was like work of Antis or whatever, but the music video has tons of people of color in it. So like, even if Cube did ask for that, which fucked up, that's not who showed up and who's in the music video.
That's not what the final product was in the end.
Yes. But I just must take a moment and gush about this song because I fucking love this song. And I just think that it's like, it's so perfect encapsulation of second gen K-pop. But I just think that it is like structured so nicely. And every single time it's ever come up on shuffle in my car in the last 12 years, it gets absolutely blasted because I love it. Like, I love that it starts with these very low, like, wah, 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 and then we just go straight into our hand clap. Beauty be not an atom down by me, yeah. And then it like and then it starts with the chorus. I love when a song starts with the chorus. I think you just like get right into it. And then the like rap verses come down and then we do this like beautiful melodic intro like back into the chorus, and the beat is just like so like, I don't know, it's like that perfect, like Zac Efron in that DJ movie said that it like goes with your heart rate perfectly or whatever.
Sure.
And it just like gets you hype. And I love that it ends with the sung chorus layered perfectly with the beauty being not an atom down. Like the chanty Hyunsung part lays so nicely on the like sung chorus at the end. And then it like, oh, it just drops out so perfectly. I love this song. I think that it's so good. There you go. That's my speech. I just like had to say that. I think this song kicks ass.
Great. Love it. Top 5 K-pop songs for Shannon.
I mean, if you made me sit down and do it, I'd have to like think really hard. But the 2 songs that I don't even have to think about would absolutely be on it. This song and Abracadabra by Brown Eyed Girls. Like, those are my complete undisputed would make it on my top forever list. The rest I'd have to think about it. But like, I just think if someone were to be like, what was K-pop like when you got into it? Or like, what's a representative? Like, this is second gen K-pop. Like, it sounded like this and it kicked ass. And I'm just so deeply nostalgic for all of it now that like I'm reaching that level of nostalgia where it makes me more sad than anything.
Oh no.
Because I'm just like, so much time has passed. Take me back.
Well, here we still have like 10 years of
I know.
Beast discography to get through. So
I know. Let's go.
Jump right back into it. July 19th, 2013, they put out their second album, Hard to Love, How to Love, and the lead single was called Shadow.
싶어 because I'm shadow 불안정하게 원하고 있는데 눈부셨던 그대로 나 돌아갈래
This song was written and composed by Jun Hyung and Kim Tae-ju, who both produced the entire album together. The single went to number 1 on the Gaon Digital and Billboard K-pop Hot 100 charts, and the album itself went to number 1 on the Gaon Physical Sales chart, which was their first release to do so. It went to number 6 on the Billboard World and won 3 music shows on M Countdown, Show Music Core, and Inkigayo. The music video for this is not actually filmed in black and white, but the entire color palette of the music video is black and white, so it very much feels like
You
it
like
is.
wouldn't know if Geek Wong's
Yeah.
hair wasn't red.
Exactly.
Because it's the only
It's the
color
only
in the
thing
video.
that is color. Yeah. But so it's very dark and edgy. There's like one actor in it who is like completely painted like a skeleton. Like he's like shirtless and buff and like bald and has like full face, head, body paint to look like a skeleton. And he does like crazy like interpretive dance, and he's like mirrored like
Yeah,
twice.
there's like
So
a
there's,
mirror
two of
split
him.
on the video.
Yeah,
where there's
like a
a lot
video
of that,
effect.
Like, yeah.
Yes. And so there's a lot of like just sort of swirly, spooky imagery. There's like tarantulas and snakes and scorpions and this like skull dancer guy. There's an actress who's kind of walking around this like spooky dark house, and she gets both followed by the skeleton man and also by her own like reflection, which
Who's
seems
like
to
wearing
come
a
out
black
of the
dress.
mirror. Yeah.
And she's wearing
like,
a white one.
a lot of that black and white mirrored imagery, etc. But I do really like the like shoulder walk forward move that's in the chorus. I think that's fun. The styling and concept of this music video, they mostly stuck with that black and white motif, and had sort of like black and white, like deconstructed suits. So some of the guys have their guns out there. Some of them have like leather vests, skinny black pants, way fewer accessories than
Yeah.
before. So we're getting like simpler in our overall looks, except for like some great headbands that Hyunsung loved to employ on stage. The lyrics are about being a shadow of a person without the other. I really want to stay by your side, so I can't get any closer. I can't even look at you because I'm a shadow, shadow, shadow. The Japanese edition of this album was released on October 30th and went to number 18 on the Oricon chart. And the pre-release Will You Be Alright had one music show win from Show Music Core.
Lovely. All right. Then a full year later, June 16th, 2014, they released their 6th EP called Good Luck, and the single had the same title.
Love, baby, good luck to you. 꼭 행복해야 해. 너만 보는 날, 너 하나밖에 없던 날. 누구 떠나갔다면. Good luck.
So this song was written by Jun Hyung and Taeju again, and they did produce this whole album again, but there's also some credits for Gi Kwang, Chon Hae Song, and No Day. This one debuted at number 1 on the Gaon Weekly album chart and went to number 2 on Monthly. It got to number 7 on the Billboard World, and both the singles, this title and a song called No More, went to number 1 on Gaon Digital. They got 10 music show wins, 2 Triple Crowns on Music Bank and Music Core, with more wins on Countdown, Inkigayo, and Show Champion. Good Luck was named the best K-pop song of the year by Billboard and number 2 by Dazed Magazine. So this was a big hit.
Huge.
And
Huge.
I think this was the last Beast song that I had any familiarity with on the timeline. Like I hadn't heard a single one after this point. I guess by 2014 I was pretty involved in other stuff. I had a
you
lot
had
to
your
hang on
people.
to.
You had your other people.
So the music video for this one, the beginning does not age well, considering some things that happened later, because there's a woman who is asleep or passed out or somehow unconscious on a bed, and Gi Kwang puts her high heels back on and like covers her with a blanket. But then, or I don't remember. No, Gi Kwang's the peephole. I think
Yeah.
it's Doojun. I don't even know. But one of the members puts her shoe back on and then covers her with a blanket. And then we see that Gi Kwang has been watching all of this through the peephole in the hallway. And he's very distressed.
And there are like flashbacks of like someone hooking up with her in that room.
Yes. So not a great 30 seconds to start the music video on. But the rest of the music video is more choreo focused, with the members dancing in a really big light up room or on a very fake street that has lots of like neon signs. And the neon signs have like some of the lyrics from the song like written out in neon. And then there's also like a dining room set that where Junhyung is like sitting at a table with like a whole bunch of women. And towards the end of the music video, the women all start passing this little sack of coins like between each other. And then one of the girls takes a butter knife and stabs him in the heart with it, which would be so hard to do because the butter knives are not sharp, but like crazy.
But you go, girl.
Yeah. So the styling for this one is like mismatched but color coordinated again. Baggy shorts with like high athletic socks, but then like layered short sleeve button ups on top of long sleeve shirts, little bit of leather, kind of suit jackets, like very odd stuff pieced together in odd ways. And on the stage that Angelica put on the playlist, Giguang is wearing a backwards snapback, but then on the snap, there is like a wire little like longhorn horns like glued to it. So it's like he has like bull horns on his like little hat. Very
it's a
interesting.
really odd choice. It's an odd choice.
So the lyrics to this one are once again a breakup song, and they're still mad about it. The lyrics say, "Good luck, baby. Good luck to you. No matter who you meet, you better be as happy as the amount of pain you have left me with."
Oof. Ouch. Harsh.
And once again, the pre-release for this one called No More got a trophy on Music Core.
Amazing. All right, that same year, 2014, on October 20th, we get their 7th EP titled Time with the single 12:30.
지금 우린 마치 12시 30분의 시계바늘처럼 서로 등 돌리고 다른 곳을 보고.
Okay, this entire album was written and produced by Junhyung and Taeju, who are now on going to go as the writing duo Good Life. One track on the album titled So Hot was written by Gikwang, Junhyung, and Node. The rest entirely produced by Good Life. This song peaked at the album peaked at number 1 on the weekly chart and number 2 on the monthly, and was 30 for the year with 72,000 sold. It went to number 11 on the Billboard World Charts and won 8 music show wins, Triple Crown on Music Bank, and 2 wins on Music Core, plus Show Champion and Inkigayo, and took home the record of the year at the Seoul Music Awards in January of 2015. In the music video, there's a lot of clock imagery and snow. Doojun and a girl who looks like a baby doll live inside of this like clock tower loft bedroom. And we sort of get like flashbacks of their relationship from when they were happy to then it like devolving into fighting, while the members are singing dramatically in and around the loft with this shirtless drummer.
I was dying laughing at this shirt. Like, there's just a drummer in an elevator and he's shirtless and he's just so skinny and he's just like drumming in the elevator.
Covered in tattoos. He's just covered in tattoos in the elevator, drumming his little shirtless heart out, and the members are like crooning dramatically next to him. It's such an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew who that guy was. I could not find out. But anyway, the relationship between Doojun and this baby doll gets like more and more violent until finally in the climax, like the climax of the fight cuts immediately to a dance scene that is in a set that looks like a stage play that takes place at the foot of the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
It's like so fake looking. And the fight, like you see Doojun like push her, and then this glass breaks.
It cuts to just like glass of vase
and
falling.
yeah, a
instead or
vase
whatever.
breaks, and then you only ever see her motionless on the bed. So I think he killed her.
Yeah, it seems like he
I
just
think
like
it's
pushed her to death.
And he pushed her and she died. And he just leaves her dead
And
on
just
the bed.
sits
And I
at the floor of her corpse and is like, yeah, man.
yeah. And we see like the same shot from the beginning of the music video where I thought, wow, she looks really dead, but surely she's just like sleeping or something. But no, I think she was really fucking dead.
Ugh.
So anyway, Choreo
Bummer.
has a ton of fancy footwork for a song that is essentially a ballad.
It's
They
so
are
wild.
moving
Because like in the
and
chorus,
grooving.
when the like lyrics are like dun 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 da 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 da, every single one of those syllables has like a huge leg to it. Like
Yeah.
they're dancing so much, and the song is so slow. It's really wild.
I know, but I like it.
I liked it. No, I
I
liked
like
it too. I was like, oh, they're like really doing something with this.
Yeah.
Because they could have just stood with microphones, but they were like,
And
no, we're
sung
going to
it.
do like choreo to this.
Yeah. Good like slow jam choreo. It's a fun time. I enjoyed this one. It's fun.
Yeah.
And for the styling of this release, they were more like mature and kind of wintry. So they had a lot of like gray and black and white suits with like coats or jackets. Each one of them has their own silhouette or style. And I picked a stage where Hyunsung is wearing 20 pounds of gold chains and does not look like any of the other, like the rest of the boys are dressed for like a nice dinner with your parents, and Hyunsung is like dressed for black market dealings. But I like it. I love him. Anyway, the lyrics are about using time as a metaphor for a relationship that doesn't work anymore. They say, we're like the clock hands at 12:30, our backs turned against each other, looking at different places, throwing everything away. And the release celebrates the group's 5th anniversary.
All right. Moving on to July 27th, 2015, they released their 8th EP titled Ordinary, and the title is Yay, which is capital Y, little e, capital Y.
Yeah, 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 yeah. 다 필요 없었다. 아무런 기대 바람도 가질 수 없어. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 더 들이고.
So this song was written and produced by Good Life, as are all the tracks on this album, except for one called Oh Honey, which is again produced by Gikwang and No Day, with Chloe and Junhyung. This peaked at number 1 on Gaon Weekly album and number 7 on Monthly album, 27 for the year with 87,000 copies sold, 4 music show wins on Show Champion, Countdown, Music Bank, and Inkigayo. And the music video has all of the members like waking up in different places, like a bathtub on a roof or on top of a water tower or in an alley, and they're all trying to remember what happened last night. It's a little hangover, like what, like they look, someone looks at a matchbook and it like flashes to him holding it last night, and they're like being reminded of this big wild party that they had, drinking at a club. Yosop and Gikwang do ab showing in the music video, and there is like 2 instances of very, very bad hair. Like Junhyung's is so bad, I think that it is a wig, because in
Yeah,
the regular dance scenes, he just has an undercut. But on his water tower moments, he has like little locks, like a whole head of them. And I was like, there's
They're
no way
awful.
that's real. Also awful. But gratefully, not in the video very often. Like,
Yeah, there's maybe like 2 shots of them, but they are shocking because they are so bad.
yes. And then Hyunsung has like very crimpy, twisty, blonde something going on.
It looks crunchy and I don't like it. Usually I Hyunsung, I like his style the most of all the members, and I usually really like his hair. So when he has bad hair, I'm
Disappointed.
disappointed.
Yeah. So the styling for this one is a more casual, similar style, color coordinated, but also mismatched. In the music video, there's a lot of like skinny jeans and Tims and high tops and like tank tops and just like, and party boy suits or whatever. But then in the stages, they're wearing like plaid and flannel and sweaters and hats and like layered clothes, but not super baggy clothes. And this was very interesting. It was one of the only things listed under the controversy segment of their Namu Wiki about the clothes in this comeback, because it was a summer comeback. It's July. They even say the word summertime in the song. But during all promotions, music show, radio shows, whatever, they were wearing flannel and sweaters and clothes that like did not match the summer vibe. So the fans thought that it was because Cube had made them some kind of clothing deal.
Sure.
And that they were already showing off the fall collection before fall, but it didn't match the concept. And on a certain radio show or something, a host made a dig at Kikwang for like wearing a sweater in July. And then the fans were like really embarrassed and like was so upset that Cube made them look so stupid.
Wow.
I just thought that was so funny that that was one of the only things listed in their controversy. Like
I
that
love that.
time they wore sweaters in July.
Humiliating.
So yeah, the lyrics are very nihilist. Like everything is terrible and love is stupid. The chorus says, "Yay, not necessary at all. I don't expect to have any hope. Woo, yay, pour me more. I don't even care if my stomach is worn or has been ripped off."
Yeah.
So they're just drinking the pain away in
Drinking
this
the
one.
pain away.
All right. So then April of 2016, there is news that Hyunsung is going to be leaving Beast. The Cube announcement states, "Today, member Jang Hyunsung is to withdraw from the group and Beast will reorganize into a 5-member group. Hyunsung, from now on, plans to focus on music as a solo artist and not as a member of Beast. Hyunsung and the other 5 members have continuously discussed their differences in personality that stemmed from differing musical opinions, and after careful consideration, we have all agreed to mutually depart and reorganize the team. For the past 7 years, Beast with their fans have worked endlessly to reach a mutual goal to the top, and because of this decision is not easy at all, including the members and the company. Beast, as a 5-member group, plans to unwaver in its plans to release a new album and carry out its schedule within Korea and internationally. Please give your continued support and warm attention to both Beast and Jang Hyunsung, who will do their best in their own place." And this news is not very shocking to fans, but it's still very sad for a lot of people. People were saying in comment sections that like when his dad passed away very suddenly in 2012, that he like kind of changed and had become very withdrawn in his grief. But others, like Korean fans, had been petitioning to get him out of the group for a while due to his, quote, lazy stage presence. And for missing events like fan meetings. A lot of K-Nets thought that he had an attitude problem. And international fans saw his treatment as like a witch hunt and that people were just looking for reasons to be mad at him. So there was like a lot of divide on that. But he did remain at Cube. Like he didn't leave Cube. He just left Beast, which is also interesting. I'm not sure how many cases there are like that either, of someone being like, "I'm not leaving the company. I just don't want to be in this group anymore."
Yeah, that is interesting. But I thought it was, I felt like it made sense to me because especially them saying that like they ultimately decided he wanted to leave because they had different musical tastes or whatever. Because at this point, Jun Hyung and his writing partner are going to be writing and producing all of Beast's music for the rest of his like run in the group. So they are actually like, you know, unlike many groups at the time, making their own music. And so if the main producer of the group is making a style of music that like you really don't like, I feel like it would be like, you know, like with 17, if one of the members didn't like, you know, like Woozi is a very distinct musical style. So like if you didn't like the style of music that he was making, and you knew that he was like, you know, for the foreseeable future gonna be the guy making the music. Like, I guess I could kind of see why he would be like, no, I still want to make music, I don't want to make this kind of music.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I kind of see it. And I don't know, as somebody who likes Hyeonsung,
Right.
I think maybe he wasn't lazy, and maybe that's just his face.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just what his face looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was just like a little bit different because like it had been a minute since the only, but like him being in Troublemaker, like that was like a really important, like big piece of K-pop. Like people loved Troublemaker.
Absolutely.
And like he proved himself, like he's very talented. So it like, I don't know. I totally get why he would just be like, I can just do this by myself. I don't need to be in this group.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
So Beast is now down to 5.
Correct. We have lost one. So, continuing with 5, we are going to go to July 4th, 2016 with their third album called Highlight, and the single was titled Ribbon.
수 있게 하얀 brown ribbon 절대 풀리지 않다 하얀 brown ribbon 너를 놓을 수 없게 아직 늦은 게 아니라
This was written and produced by Good Life, as are all the tracks on the album, with additional credits to Yosop, Gikwang, Dongwoon, Node, Chloe, and Guber Lake. So we're getting like kind of the same crew of writers on every album. The album went to number 1 on the Gaon Weekly and number 9 on the Billboard World Albums charts, and ended the year at 37 on Gaon. It got 2 music show wins on Show Champion and Music Bank. And the music video starts out with like very heavy breathing and this huge like brass key getting dragged out of what looks like a well. And then you get shots of like that helipad that is in every single music video.
The one, you know it.
The one. And this bare, dusty set that has like big, not like lamp posts, but like clock posts. And all the members are wearing white suit shirts and black slacks. They like match the most that they have in a really long time, but they all have their like different little neck bows for the like main dance scene in front of all of the clocks. And they're all of their individual shots, they're kind of in places that don't really make sense, like a desk in the middle of a parking garage or a photo booth that's on the roof. Dongwoon is like writing all over a car in Sharpie, and then he sets it on fire. Jujun literally sprints off a building, and then the final seconds are his body like slowly falling from a super far away shot. It's very disturbing. There's a lot of strange imagery in this music video.
Sure. The hand reaching out of the locker, the
hand!
like creepy gray, like
it's like out of
ring
The
hand.
Grudge.
I don't
like
like
it's
it.
yeah, for a song that is ultimately like pretty beautiful
The
with a lot of like
violins in
strings.
this song are so nice.
Oh, they're so lovely. And the choreography is really nice too. Like it's a lot of like sweeping arms and like kind of delicate footwork. And the styling for this release was also very like clean cut and preppy. They're wearing like black slacks with long sleeve button ups, and they're either like all white so that they match, or they're like pretty like pastel colors and like silky fabrics. And because it's called Ribbon, they all have different like fancy neck accessories, whether that's like a big bow or an ascot or like embroidery. And just a shout out to Gikwang for being able to make even this literal buttoned up look slutty. We love you. Love a hoe. And this is another song about a rocky relationship. It's like our whole relationship is in shambles, but can we tie it back together? It says, with all our strength, we can both pull so our love can be tied into a knot again. Tie up a ribbon so it won't come undone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is kind of.
All right. So moving into, it's time to discuss the contract and our transition from Beast to Highlight. So October 15th, 2016 is the day that the Cube contracts were up. And people had been talking about this for a while because they knew that the contracts were ending, and Beast had maybe straight up said or hinted at that they were not going to stay at Cube, but they wanted to stay together. So the members want to set up their own agency and be independent. And Cube says, well, if you do that, you cannot have your name and you'll have to pay us every single time you sing one of your songs. So then the members go back to Cube and they ask if they can set up an independent sub-label, kind of like what Super Junior has at SM. Like, we work here, but like also we're our own bosses. Can we do that? And Cube says, no. You renew with us or you get nothing. So then 2 months later, on December 16th, the members announce that they have established Around Us Entertainment. And they say, quote, we are named Around Us because we wish to engage with and be closer to the fans more frequently. Like our name suggests, we will attempt to create more music and content that everyone can enjoy anywhere around us. And the statement says, our artists have a long path to walk and much more to do, and we promise we will do our best to provide joy to our fans. Please accept us positively and the label and our artists as we try this new path together. And Cube countered this statement with, we have not yet discussed Beast's trademark with Around Us Entertainment, and we need to discuss it.
Yikes. Cube is always such a mess.
So then February 10th, 2017, there's a rumor going all around the internet that Cube is to debut a 3-member group called Beast with Hyunsung so that they can keep the name. And Hyunsung makes an Instagram post that says, what is this? I don't know anything about this.
Always such a mess, Cube. Always such a mess.
I assume that this truly is just a rumor because this is like even a little too crazy for them. But
I don't know. They've done some wild shit, man.
That's true. That's true. So then February 24th, 2017, Beast announces that they will now be called Highlight. The members decide to just give up this legal dispute, get on with things, and use a new name because they don't want to be like stuck indefinitely and they just want to sing. So like, fuck it, we'll just start over. So part of the official statement said, with the significance of the brightest part or the most exceptional or striking, Highlight was the name of the first album Beast made under Cube Entertainment as a 5-member group. At the time, the album was named that to signify their emotions as they began anew as 5 members. Now, the singers will use Highlight to mark the start of a new beginning for the group. Beginning anew, no matter what the situation, is always nerve-wracking, so we are preparing carefully. Even though it has been 9 years since debut, and they have had to give up their successful and bright past as Beast, we believe that the group members will feel the same. The 5 artists wanted to return to the public and to their fans more quickly and hope that the public will be understanding of their intentions. So there you go. It's a real bummer. It's crazy, but like I really do admire the perseverance. I like think it kicks ass that they were just like, fine, new name, let's go.
Yeah, I like it. But it's also interesting because I really loved getting to know what happened because like you said earlier, we have talked about this contract dispute several times, and I think that we've like specifically brought it up within the context of like different historical disputes or whatever. But I also didn't know, like, even then when we looked into this dispute for our show, like how much the members of Beast had a hand in the music that they were making. I feel like that sets them on a totally different like playing field than other artists have had, especially when it comes to like, you know, arguing their contracts or whatever, because like Beast is the one who's producing these hit
like these
tracks.
are their
like
songs.
It's their songs, and they're just as successful, if not in some cases more successful than the songs that had been given to them by the company. So then them being able to say like, okay, well, fuck it, we'll just do it ourselves. They actually can do that because they're already making their own songs. Like they don't need the songwriters and the resources necessarily, or like all the resources that the company had. So it's just really interesting that like they were able to do this. And then getting that additional context of being like, oh, well, yeah, they could, because they're the ones making their own. So interesting.
All right, so let's move into the highlight years.
The highlight era. All right. So March 20th, 2017, we get, now we could have said first EP as highlight, but we're talking overall releases. So this is the group's overall 9th EP.
Yes, I decided
First
not
EP
to like
as highlight.
start over because like the fact that they've released like 15 albums is fucking cool, and I don't want to like cut it in half, you know?
I think that's fair. So this release was called Can You Feel It? And the title is Please PLZ Don't Be Sad.
부리지 말아요 baby 넌 웃는 게 더 예뻐 그렇게 슬픈 표정하지 말아요 널 보면 내
This was written and produced by Good Life with additional album credits for Yosop, Kwang, Guberlake, and Quan Phillip. The album peaked at number 1 on the Gown Weekly, number 2 on the monthly, and 30 for the year with 114,000 copies sold. It went to number 9 on the Billboard World and got 8 music show wins, which prompted a lot of articles and tweets from fans calling them super rookies and joking about these being their first music show wins ever. And during the second win on Show Champion, the host, Kim Shin-young, did accidentally call them Beast. So the whole world was kind of adjusting to the fact that they are now highlight. The music video has a very different vibe from like their previous releases. It's super bright and cartoonish. At the beginning, the members like appear outside of this Airstream trailer, and there are really big neon set pieces. And like one of them has coworkers that has mascot heads, and like they're playing golf at a bowling alley.
I feel like this music video is a perfect example of what you called in our very, very early episodes about music video styles, like the Target effect.
Yes.
Because it like looks like Target commercials did at the time.
Totally.
And it's very 2017. Like starting this music video, I was like, oh yes, this was a time too.
Yeah, 100%. So the main dance scene of the music video, because it does have like at least one, does take place in front of this Airstream. And it has a whole bunch of backup dancers, which I feel like Beast doesn't always, or Highlight doesn't always have backup dancers. But in this one, you have like the 5 members that are all in like colorful, like pastel bathrobes, and then all the backup dancers are wearing white bathrobes, but the bathrobes are like a thing for the concept and styling of this whole release. They wear super bright colors and mismatching patterns, but then with the bathrobes over it, and like even on the music show stages, and they have like, they would set up the music shows to be like super neon bright bowling alleys and diners to kind of match the cartoonish music video. The lyrics for this song, I joked like, oh, is this their very first title track that's not a breakup song? And it's not, but it feels like it because it's been literally years.
Yeah.
Literally years. I fact checked myself.
I
was
know,
like,
I
okay,
believe you.
But anyway, the lyrics say, I don't even want the smallest scar to form on you. I even want all of your sadness, my baby. Please don't be sad. Baby, you're much prettier when you smile.
Boo. You ruined a nice sentiment with the worst sentence ever.
You were so close. So close.
All right. So then on May 29th of 2017, they released their first repack of their career, which is interesting, called Calling You. And the single is Calling You.
늦은 시간에 자꾸 전화해서 미안해 조금 취했지만 정신은 말짱해 Now I'm calling you 대답 없는 너지만 아직
I love this.
I know, me too. So this was written and produced by Good Life, and the repack album went to number 2 on the Gown Weekly and 7 on the monthly album charts and was number 87 for the whole year. They got 2 music show wins on M Countdown and Music Core, and this music video is so cute. I absolutely love it. I honestly think it's early to say it, but the highlight years, cute. So fun.
I really like the highlight
Highlight
years.
is like a much more happy-go-lucky group than Beast was.
Yeah, way
It
more
just
happy-go-lucky and more like personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, we're cool, they're like, we're guys.
Yeah.
So all of the members are like at different tables at a soju tent, like Kikwang's with his like soccer team, and Dujun's like at a business meeting, and like Yosop has like a backpack and is sitting alone, and Dongwoon is with girls, like
Yeah.
his whole table. It's like just him and a bunch of girls. And they're all like getting drunk and like they stumble the streets alone and go into like phone booths and try to make a phone call. And then there's like a fun moment that I really like towards the end of the music video where every single person like highlight and all of the customers
Extras.
all just like get up and like face the camera and do this like little dance, but like with no emotion on their faces. And it was like really fun to me. And then there's like a spotlight moment where like student Yosop like sees a girl at one of the other tables, and it's like very musical theater, like seeing each other across the room. And it's just a cute, fun music video.
It's so cute.
And the styling was very cool and like a little bit dressy, like not suits, but like black skinny jeans and like nice tops, like the boy version of like a going out blouse.
Yeah.
Like blazers and military jackets with sweaters and button ups and dress shoes. And like they look like clean up and nice. And the lyrics are about a drunk dial. It says, "Sorry for calling you this late. I'm a bit drunk, but my mind is clear. Now I'm calling you, even though you're not answering."
I love this music video. It's so sweet.
It's
I love
really
it when
sweet.
I love a theatrical moment, and I love like when I don't know. I love the overacting. I just think it's fun.
Yeah.
Their next release came out on October 16th, 2017. It was their 10th EP titled Celebrate, with the lead single Can Be Better.
자꾸 웃지마 하는 수어 증오어 이 시간도 아픔도 결국 지나가니까 오늘 정도 때가 돼.
This song was written and produced by Good Life, with additional album credits for Gikwang, Kim Tae-sung, Chan Young, and Secret Weapon. The album peaked at number 2 on the Gaon Weekly and 5 on the monthly charts, ending the year at 31 with 113,000 copies sold. It went to number 9 on the Billboard World, and I know that that might sound like a copy and pasted fact, but for real, they had multiple number 9s on Billboard World. And this song won one music show on the show. The music video has like a very cartoonish opening with exaggerated sound effects. Like the members are in business suits and running to work, and they like slip on a banana peel with the like whoop whoop sound that happens, and like they run into a telephone pole or they get attacked by a bird.
Drop their phone in a sewer
Yes,
grate.
like
all the
kinds
things
of
that could go wrong.
mishaps on their way to work. And they each have a different job. So like one of them works at a dry cleaners, and one of them is a barber, and one of them is a grocery store like clerk.
Stock boy.
Yeah,
whatever.
stock boy. And at each one of these jobs, the other members show up and just basically make their lives hard, whether they're like throwing the snacks in the grocery store or like being goofy.
Just being wild.
Like
and-
customers in the barber shop or whatever. There's this white blonde girl in a blue dress that like every once in a while shows up and distracts them, but she's not there's not actually like a plot. She
No.
shows up like twice at the beginning,
go
and then
like,
you never
"What?"
see, yeah, and then you never see her again. I thought she was gonna be like a motif throughout. She's not.
Sure.
Anyway, it ends with the members throwing themselves a rooftop barbecue karaoke party with just themselves. Nobody else is there. And the general styling and concept for this was more fun and casual. Like you were saying, that Highlight is just generally more fun than Beast. And you can really see it in the choreo. Like,
Yeah.
it's freer with like more opportunities to kind of be goofy, and like specifically I think is supposed to be done with very big facial expressions. So it's just a very different vibe from their previous releases, and they're kind of dressed for like a nice party, like with suits and like printed shirts or slacks and sweaters, but kind of a generally like muted color scheme. And the lyrics of this song, This is one of their first releases that's not explicitly a love song, and it's more about just generally leaving the past behind you. It says, I have no choice. Don't hold on to the things that left me. I have no choice. This moment and pain will pass. And it has like like the lyrics on their own are kind of neutral, but combined with the song and the visuals, it's pretty hopeful about like, don't waste your time worrying about the things that are holding you back or holding you down, I guess. And this release celebrated their 8th anniversary.
So then on August 24th of 2018, Doojun went to the military, and it was announced only 2 days before he left, which is always a real shock to fans. So we've entered highlight military era officially. And on November 20th of 2018, they released their 11th EP called Outro with the single Loved.
참 많이 사랑했나 봐.
I just want to say before the clip leaves my mind too quickly, I'm so surprised I had never heard this song before, but like I really liked that it was a very like of its time kind of like Chainsmokers-y anti-chorus, but I love that the sound that they used is like a violin sample.
Yeah.
That was so interesting. I was just like, wow, I've never heard this before. Like, I just thought this was neat.
Yeah, I liked it too.
So this was written and produced by Good Life with additional album credits for Yeoseop, Dongwoon, Gikwang, and Gyuberlake. It peaked at number 4 on the Gaon Weekly Album Chart and was number 92 for the year with 47,000 copies sold. And the music video has the members sort of like happening upon scenes of destruction, like an abandoned, possibly high school or a store or something, but there's just like everything's broken, the walls are crumbling, there's just like stuff all around, there's like a cop car near a burning trash can and like a burnt out car, and the members are dancing like either in a black void or a room that kind of looks like a mansion with similar crumbly abandonedness to it. And I agreed with your point that you thought this had similar imagery to the Shiny Tell Me What to Do music video, but unlike that music video, it doesn't have any kind of story happening. It's just vibes.
Yeah.
But then at the end, like time turns backwards and the rooms are all nice again. And then their black and white suits become white and red suits. So the concept for this one was suits, like patterned and slick, but they didn't do many stages because there were only 4 of them. The lyrics say, we're back to our breakup roots. They say, I hate you, I miss you, I miss you. I don't want to forget you, come back to me. If I count the past days backwards, will I be able to see you? So much I loved you. And Doojun's vocals were on this album, but he was in the military, so they didn't really do music shows, but instead they did go on Sketchbook and held a solo concert that was also titled Outro at the Seoul Olympic Gymnastics Stadium in November. And our YouTube playlist includes their Sketchbook performance of the pre-release track called Take Care. This all feels very chapter closey, like calling it outro and like take care and I loved you, like
100%.
I know, but it's because going to the military is scary and you don't know if anyone will give a shit when you come back, so I get it.
And I will but I will take this time to right now shout out the fact that we've given Beast credit for this before, but and maybe it's because they were already under their own company and they'd been producing their own music for a while now, but they clearly had a military plan because Doojun enlisted, they released this outro goodbye album, and then on January 24th, 2019, Yeoseop enlists and he serves as a conscripted police officer, and we're going to get a domino effect very quickly.
Yes. Unfortunately, interrupted by deep, horrid scandal. On March 14th, 2019, Junhyung is officially out over his involvement in the Burning Sun scandal, which I will not go into because I don't want this to be a triggering episode. It doesn't have to be. Apparently, there is a new BBC documentary about Burning Sun that everyone is saying is very well done, but very hard to watch.
I'm sure.
So if you know nothing about this, please look it up. I don't want to say any of it. I'm also not going to read his fucking statement because it is all deflection. It contains zero apologies. And he tries so hard to downplay everything. And it just like made me seethe. And I didn't want to read it.
Sure, 'cause fuck that guy.
And it was also very upsetting that literally 3 days before he was removed from the group, around us, whether that's a PR person or him himself, I don't know how it works when people own their own companies, but the company put out statements that all of the accusations against him were completely false and he'd never been a part of any of that. And it was so, how dare you?
Yeah.
And then he was caught red-handed and out.
Just denying until the proof had been released and you couldn't deny it anymore. So that happened.
So he also had to go to the military the second that this was out. But
as right before he enlisted, he officially left the group.
Yep.
And then he went off to the military. Very next month, April 18th, Gi Kwang enlists. He, like Yosop, also serves as a conscripted police officer. And then the following month, May 9th, Dong-woon enlists and also serves as a conscripted police officer, at which point I feel the need to point out, because I had originally, when I was looking, doing my little timeline, doing my little facts, I was like, cool, Doojun enlists, no big deal. And I read this fact about him and I didn't include it because I was like, who cares? And then I read that every subsequent member became a military police officer. So I just feel the need to say that Doojun also apparently applied to be a military cop, but he was rejected.
Oh no.
So sorry, sir. Literally every single one of your younger members went on to be that. But whatever. You did your duty, I'm sure.
And no one likes cops anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, fuck the cops. Especially a military cop. Boo.
So then on May 3rd, 2021, we're all back and we release our 12th EP called The Blowing. And the single is Not the End.
I'm still here. 나 끝이 보이지 않는 기다림. 혼자가 익숙해진 이 자리. Where are you? 널 부르고.
So this song was not written by Good Life. The title track was written and composed by Ju Chan-young from Pollen and Lavin and Gi Kwang. And the whole album features like a whole variety of writers now because we're not tied to Junyoung anymore.
Yeah.
So we've got some recognizable K-pop names like Yummy Tone, Vincenzo, Fuzzy, Fuckshi. We have no idea how this person says their name, but that FUXXY person. And additional credits for Gi Kwang and Dongwoon on this album. And this was their first comeback as 4 members. And Angelica found an article that was titled Highlight Returns with Complete Lineup After Military Service Hiatus, and went on to emphasize that all the members are back. All 4 members have finished their enlistment and are back from hiatus.
It was just like every single paragraph had something about, we're so excited to welcome all the members. And I was like, okay, we got it. Understood.
No, I don't
Loud
blame them.
and clear.
It's I'm grateful that for the vast majority of groups that lost a member to that scandal were like, and we wash our hands of him forever.
I literally just saw something of, who was it from Big Bang? I think it was Taeyong because he's usually the loudest about it, but maybe it was GD. And the interviewer was literally referring to something from like years ago. And he was like, no, Big Bang was always 4. I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because fuck that guy.
So this album, this 4-member album, went to number 2 on the weekly album chart and sold 111,000 copies. And they got 2 music show wins on the show and Music Core. And the music video is beautiful.
It's
Like,
so pretty.
not claiming I will make a couple of comparisons for the next couple of music videos to Shiny stuff. I'm not calling plagiarism. I don't do that. I
No.
think it's fine when music videos have similar feels. Like, it's art, it's fine. But this is very Shiny Countless.
Yes.
Like, I love it. Like, it just feels like refreshing. Like, all the stark white and the like beautiful blue, and like everybody looks so like expensive and gorgeous, and like the song like has like a soaring comfort about it. Like, it's a very nice return from military song.
I
for
agree.
real.
I agree.
But they're in this like sort of it's like boxy in that it isn't a real place, but it kind of looks like a villa.
Yeah.
And Ki Kwang has a full mesh shirt on because we cannot forget that he is a slut.
He came out of the military and said, "Ba bam!
Don't forget I have abs."
Now they're even bigger.
But like their suits are so lush, like velvety, and like the main dance scene, they have those like matador jackets in this white courtyard and this pool and this like very blue sky. And then there's like art museum stuff, like this big pretty flower painting and like a convertible that's completely full of flowers, and like it's just very nice. Just like nature,
very
art,
like
lovely.
painting come to life sort of set.
Yeah, and the styling is just so gorgeous with all the suit jackets and the silky shirts, and the color palettes are either like very deep or like kind of neutral white, blue, pink, silky, soft, expensive, grown, here, loving
Beautiful. Thriving. No dead weight.
it. Yes, dead weight removed. Killing it. So the lyrics are, "When I close my eyes, I feel like our hands will touch. Your voice is calling me so clear. The times that I have stopped for you wake me up from the frozen. I'm still here. It's not the end." And that is also like a very strong statement to make in a military comeback song, that they say in English, "I'm still here. It's not the end." And every time they say it, it is written in text on the music video.
Yeah, it is.
They're
It
making
is.
a point.
They are. And I just like, I just love a group that plans ahead. Like 1 month after the other, we're all going to go so we can all come back together and have a very like specific, "Hello, we are back." Like, just tell me a story. That's all I
Yeah.
want. So next on the timeline, we have March 21st, 2022. They are going to release their 4th full album titled Daydream with a single of the same name.
Rose. 꿈을 꿔 daydream 나는 매일 혹시라는 꿈을 꿔 계속 daydream 영원해 어지러운 미로써 because I love you.
This is a good one.
I know, so groovy. Oh, it's so nice. I really do. I mean, their Beast era is so fun because it's like so classically second gen.
Yes.
But
it's-
the Highlight era is smooth and sexy and fun.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right. So this song was written and composed by KZ, Kim Tae-young, Hoff, and Danke of La 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 Studio. This was their first full album in 5 years, and again had multiple producers with recognizable names like Vincenzo Fakshi, and No Day still hanging out. Few credits for Ki Kwang and Dongwon as well. The album went to number 4 on the Circle Weekly and 15 on Monthly with 91,000 copies sold, and got 1 music show win from the show. The music video has kind of artsy, dreamy imagery. There's like a bed in the middle of the desert and a room filled with old TV monitors. There's like a marching band walking through a bar. And then there's a big white box set for the dance, and then another dance set in the desert. And at one point there in the white room is some couch choreo with the lady backup dancers that I thought was really fun. I love when there's like furniture pieces in a dance. And they're wearing suits for the majority of this, and they have either like a black color palette or a dusty like pink, brown, and red. And I thought it was interesting that this is like the one where they had the "Please Don't Be Sad" with the like bathrobes and stuff.
Yes.
That one had female backup dancers and a bunch of backup dancers. This one, for the most part, features only female backup dancers. And I thought that was interesting because it's kind of the first time that we get that from
and there's
Beast.
a part in the stage where Geekwang has a like very touchy partner dance with one of the girls.
Yes, I think that's like during the, like in the music video, it's the same part of the song that the couch part is on. They just don't have the
like
couch.
do it standing.
Yeah,
on
they
the
do it
stage.
standing up instead. But I really liked it. It feels like a new era for them for sure.
And again, no, not saying plagiarism, just saying that the desert stuff really reminded me of the concept teaser images for one of the Story of Light pieces.
Yeah.
Like where they have the
with the
hollow
pieces of plastic.
Plastic?
Yeah. I think that was for Good Evening.
Okay, yeah, but like the
think
color
so.
palette feels really similar, and like that desert felt
Desert
like
pastels.
yes, and the desert part itself felt really familiar, and like it might be different, but I was in 17's Don't Want to Cry music video. I feel like there's a similar desert dance.
It also gave me, and I think maybe it's because of the like the four members, the super groovy like modern K-pop and the like post-military glow up. I got a lot of Newest W vibes from this era as well. This was like 2 years ago, but whatever. We're talking from an analytical point of view. Anyway, the styling for this comeback seemed to generally be suits, but specifically with oversized jackets.
Yeah, like really big jackets.
Yeah,
on those
like
stages.
the jackets,
I didn't love
which
them.
was odd because that's not how they were dressed in the music video. Like the music video had pretty well tailored suits, but specifically on the stages, they were oversized. Don't know what that was about, but whatever. The song, the lyrics, it's a sentimental love confession. They say, I dream, daydream every day. I have a dream that maybe keep having a daydream forever in a chaotic maze because I love you, love you, love you. So it's meant to be sort of both melancholy and romantic.
Right.
And they followed the promotions with a 3-day concert called Intro at Jamisil Indoor Gymnasium on March 20th to the 22nd. This was their first concert as a group in over 3 years, and tickets sold out in just 3 days.
Way to go. So then on November 7th of 2022, they released their 13th EP, After Sunset, and the single is Alone.
Got a feeling for you. Ooh, baby, you're the lonely night. Because I'm alone. You let me, I'm alone. 어딜 봐도 네 생각뿐이야.
So this was written and produced by BXN, and Geekwang has 3 credits on other tracks on this album, which went to number 2 on the weekly chart and number 5 on the monthly and sold 139,000 copies. They got 3 music show wins on the show Champion and Music Bank. And oh my God, the bass in this song. I'm like upset. How did I miss this? I'm so
You
mad
didn't.
that I
We
missed
definitely
this.
no. We saw this one. This is the one. We recommended this on the show when it came out because we were like second gen group, still killing it. This is the one where Yosop of all members
Okay.
is wearing the boob vest,
Okay, yes.
and he has the 2-toned hair. You saw
Yes.
this. It was a
I
blip,
did
but
see
you
it,
did
but it
see
didn't. I don't know why it didn't stick with me, and I'm mad
Fair.
that it didn't. But this
Never
is a very.
too late.
I know that's true. I'm good. I'm so much of this is going on a playlist. You
For
don't even know.
real, like all of it, pretty much. Especially all this new highlight stuff. It's
Yeah.
so groovy. Highlight is so groovy.
So this music video is more dance focused, and they're kind of in like a spaceship looking white chrome box, and then there's also empty warehouse with headlights and another one where the floor is water. Love a floor is water scene.
Always good.
And then the costumes in the music video are either all black, like lots of leather and like gloves and stuff, or like a coordinated red and white, like Kai love shot suit moment happening. And then the solo shots sort of make it feel like maybe they're implying that the members might be aliens. There's a vague sci-fi thing happening
Yeah,
here
for
for
sure.
sure. And the styling on the stages is capital SLUTTY slutty. And they are in suits, but like only in implication.
Correct.
The sex harnesses, the amount of sex harnesses and like leather pants and the cutouts, fishnet shirts. And then in the stage in the playlist, Yosob is wearing just like a boob vest. It's like the shoulders of a jacket and then just like the pockets that would go over.
Yeah, like a crisscross strap that covers literally only pecs.
Yes, but it comes up constantly because of
Constantly.
the choreo. And I was like so shocked because when I was watching the stage, because Dongwoon is wearing like a suit jacket that does have a lot of cuts in it. But there's like a moments in the choreo where the way that it moves, you can see that the like sex harness he has on his torso is so complicated. It has so many straps and it like covers his entire torso. It's wild. And then the craziest part of the stage is that Gikwang is completely covered, like turtleneck to full gloves, like
Yeah.
just leather. It's tight and it's still kinky, but like you can't
But
see any
no
of his
skin is showing. It's interesting. You know what? He came out of the military with different kinks.
Yeah. No, this is so like these stages are wild. These stages are wild. And the lyrics are said to express a straightforward confession and a double message, which is contradictory. But the lyrics say, I got a feeling for you, oh baby, all the lonely night. Because I'm alone, you left me, I'm alone. Wherever I look, I can only think about you because I'm alone without you. And this album was announced at a 2-day fan con titled Highlight Sports Day that happened in October of 2022. And that takes us to the last thing on our list.
The last thing on our list
Just happened.
so recently, on March 11th of this year, 2024, we got their 14th EP titled Switch On with the single Body.
Shake your body, your body, your body, right? We gonna party tonight, alright? 날 따라 make it simple.
This song was written and composed by KZ, Jong Eun-ji, Kim Taeyeon, Dint from Hybrid, Jiwon, and MLC. And Gikwang again has credits on 3 different tracks for the album itself, which went to number 3 on the weekly chart with over 107,000 copies sold and 2 music show wins on the show and Music Bank. The music video, again, has like a ton of personality in it. I think it starts out at a swimming pool, but all of the members are wearing pants and jackets, like thick fall jackets, not at all pool attire. And they look very slick all throughout this whole music video. But the members are like tailors. Like
Yes,
they work
I would
at
say
a,
they are tailors.
They work as tailors and they're dancing in excellent fitting denim
Oh,
suits.
the outfits in the dance part, the little like leather, like tiny armbands over their little dress shirts and their little vests and
Their
their little
little
stripes and like
vests.
everything looks so good.
Their pants are fitting so good. Like the tailoring in this music video is so good. It is so good. And they basically just kind of like dance in their pool outfits around different parts of a fancy hotel. So they're in the lobby, they're in the bar, they're in the elevator bank. And there's a real 1960s, 70s feel to the cuts of their suits. So like the wide collars and lapels, the kind of flared pants, even like the color schemes and patterns of the fabrics in the suits feels very retro.
Yeah.
And they wore for the stages like super well coordinated looks as well. And I specifically chose some good denim suits for the
I
playlist.
liked that choice.
The lyrics, this is a sexy get up and dance with me song. It says, show me your love, dance all night like this night will explode. Yeah, shake your body, your body, your body right. Don't let it get to your mind, get to your mind. And this is such a goddamn bop. Like the
It's so
whistle in
fun.
this is so good. The deadpan expressions they do while doing the little like shaky, like in a line. It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's so fun. Great comeback.
Yeah, great
Love
comeback.
it. I love it. So our final piece of this, which I love to announce so much, it's such a great way to end this, which is on April of this year, on the 2nd, it was announced that they got the name back.
Yeah.
The statement said, "We've smoothly completed the mutual agreement regarding the use of the trademark for Beast." But nevertheless, the group will continue promotions under the name Highlight, as they said, regardless of the group name that we promote under, it feels new to be able to showcase the group name Beast. We hope that this becomes a meaningful gift to Highlight fans for their 15th debut anniversary, which will be coming up in October. So, like, that's very exciting to wonder, like, if it's 15 years and they have the rights to
name.
everything. What are, like, will they do something special with it? I don't know.
I feel like it would make sense because they got the name Highlight from one of their albums. And they've kind of said like, well, we just are Highlight now, so we're going to stick with it. It would make sense for them to, on their 15th anniversary, just do like title the album Beast.
That would be so fun.
And then like it would be cool if it could be like all new music, or it could be like new versions of
I
their
was thinking that
greatest
too.
hits.
What if they like TVXQ and do some
yeah,
re-records?
like make them a 4-member version instead, or like the way you are, like up,
Yeah,
you
like
know, like
reimagine
remix
it.
it. Yeah, reimagine it. I think either way that would be super fun.
But yeah, there you go. That's the story of Beast and Highlight. Beast Highlight Beast.
the Beast.
But I enjoyed doing this deep dive so much.
Me too.
Like obviously, like member changes and stuff are a bummer, and they're particularly yucky in this case. But I do think that I just, like I said, I like love a story of like perseverance. I love that their early stuff and their early impact is so second gen and is so important to second gen and feels like a really specific kind of K-pop that like to me is still classic and still worthwhile. But then this new version of them, this Highlight version of them, like truly is a different version of them. And so it like kind of makes the eras really easy to separate.
Definitely.
And they're both enjoyable for like different reasons. And I just think that it's so great that they've kept going. Like as a second gen hag stan, like I love when idols are also in their 30s like me. So I can't help but appreciate it. But yeah, all these Highlight songs are such bops, and I'm going to be putting them all on a playlist.
Yeah, they're all good. They're all so fun. Like the Beast era is perfect nostalgia. The Highlight is excellent modern K-pop. I think that they are at this point a group that clearly understands K-pop very well, I think, especially in that they have had a chance to kind of make their own music. So, and now they're managing themselves. So I'm kind of excited to see where they go from here. And I feel like they have settled pretty well as this member group. And I'm excited to see what they end up doing for their 15th anniversary later this year.
Yeah, me too. So we'll take a breath and we'll be right back to watch their most popular music video after this. All right, we are back and we are going to cap off this episode by watching Beast's most popular music video, and that is Fiction, which has 132 million views. And we'll see that iconic dance for ourselves. And I haven't watched this music video in years, and I really did like not spoil it for the episode. So
same. I did not watch it before the episode, so it has definitely been a while. So this is from 2011. Fiction.
If you want to watch it with us, just pull it up and press play when I say go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Bookshelf. We see the back of a woman. Oh, she's walking toward a piano. She looks lost, confused, maybe. Dragging her fingers over the keys.
Is it implied that she's playing this
This
melody?
extremely electronic
This is
melody
coming
on
from
her
that
really
old
old
school
piano.
Okay, so I think that's Junhyun
Yeah.
sitting at a desk writing something that he looks upset about, and then now we have all the members on like a fake rooftop.
But it looks like the city is flooded. It's like they're on the top of a skyscraper, but there's like water like very close by.
Yes, and like the buildings are fallen down around them. Girl is taking books off of a shelf. Oh, happy memories of a previous relationship.
She looks so familiar to me.
She does look familiar.
Ooh, ah. We got a nice like ripple dance move there.
It is always good.
Oh, here it is.
yeah.
Ugh, it's just
It's
good.
just a smooth little foot move. Keeping your hands in your pockets is always a good move. It's like 2 p.m. got really like one of their dances went crazy because it was just in your pockets. Yosop looks a little bit like a Smurf.
Yeah.
He just
I
has like
see
a
it.
cute little cartoon nose. Curtain of bang.
Yeah. There are some pretty serious bang happening in this.
Oh, yeah.
Dirt floor set.
Yep, classic. This dirt set has like a spaceship in the back.
Yeah, there's like a weird lit structure that's like giving spaceship, but it's too hollow to actually be a
To be a
spaceship.
ship. Yeah. Dongwoon, that was good acting. He looked like he had actual tears in his head.
I feel like there's another video that he cries in. The one where they write on the ribbon. So he might be good at crying on cue. Oh my god, all of these bangs.
I know. They're so thick. They're like an eye patch. Okay, so Junhyun has walked like, I don't know, I guess a countless number of miles.
Yeah, he was just like in a field and on a bridge. Like he's just been walking and now he's in an endless desert. And the girl, oh, her
She
tears.
has shed one solitary tear. And she disappears into dust.
Okay, that's Park Bo Young, who
Okay.
I thought I recognized. She's in Strong Girl, Bong Soon,
Yeah.
and Doom at Your Service, and like a million things.
Oh, he disappeared too.
Blown away.
Bye.
Close that book.
Burn it. No, we're just going to walk away. Play more synth piano. Or are we going to keep the book? She turned back to the book. What are we going to do? What are we going to do, sister? We're going to reopen the book.
Oh, and
she's gonna write something in the middle of the bottom of the page. Why would you choose? Okay, that's a different spot.
Oh no,
Oh, it's a
that's where
different
he
person.
was writing.
Oh.
Fiction. Wow, there we go.
Fantastic.
We did it. That was a great time. Thank you so much to our Patreon patrons for choosing Beast Highlight. I have been wanting to do this deep dive for a while. So thanks for picking it.
Yeah, great choice.
And do you have any like Beast specific recommendations? Anything you came across that we didn't mention yet?
Just shout out the fact that there is a Killing Voice Dingo Music of the 4 highlight members. So I have not watched it myself, but we often love those Killing Voice segments where, if you've never seen one, basically they'll take a group and they have them sing a like kind of live medley of their greatest hits. So I am going to assume, because like when TVXQ did theirs, they did it truly from like every era. So I know they won't shy away from their Beast songs. I'm sure that they do actually cover their whole discography. So I bet it's good. It's like 20 minutes long. I haven't watched it, but since those are pretty consistently, reliably good content, I'm going to go ahead and recommend that. The Killing Voice Challenge on Dingo Music of Highlight.
Love it. That's a good rec. I feel like the only thing I can recommend, and it's a silly recommendation, and it does require that you have a love and tolerance for second gen K-pop, but I do recommend at least watching or checking out the 2 A-Pink and Beast school look songs. They are called Oh My Baby, which O is spelled as the number 5. Oh My Baby. And the other one is called Skinny Baby. And they are super, 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 super cheesy second gen. No, they're not cheesy. They're good. They're like actually good songs, okay? And they were very important to me when I was a baby K-pop fan. And so to me, they are real songs, and they are still up on YouTube somehow. So give those a check out if you want to. And yeah, I'm personally gonna like dive into this highlight discography extra hard.
Yeah, I know. I want to go in and look for all the good B-sides that I know exist.
Yeah, they got to. They've got to. Well, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, we can be found at AMA K-Pop Pod on Instagram. You can send us emails at amakpoppod@gmail.com. You can send us text messages or leave us a voicemail at 181-AMA-KPOP5. If you want to join our Patreon and do things like vote for deep dives and see lots of fun bonus content, that is on Patreon at patreon.com/AMAKPopPod. Our linktree /AMAKpop will take you to our YouTube and Spotify, where we have the playlist that we just kept that we referenced so many times in this episode. You can see all the specific stages and music videos, as well as get a link to join our Discord. If you want to join our Discord listeners do so many fun things together all the time. This weekend, they just started a new thing called Nugu Nights.
Ooh.
Where I think it's happening like once a month. I don't know. Check the channel for deets. But they like all get in the same voice channel, because you can do that like a voice chat room on Discord. And before the night starts, they choose 3 random like Nugu groups that people might not know anything about. And then they just like watch music videos and stages and like learn together.
Oh, cute.
About groups so that they can get more well-rounded in their lesser known K-pop. And I think it's so fun. I love our Discord listeners. So if you want to join them and have a good time, the link is there in the link tree. And that's all of the things. And thank you again for listening and supporting us. And I hope you enjoyed this. And please support Highlight in their journey forward, because we love our grown men and we must let them keep singing forever.
15 years. Going strong.
I love it. I love it. All right. Talk to you. See you. Listen to you, talk to you, whatever this is. It's a podcast in 2 weeks. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.